it's gonna be an errand day. Now I'm gonna go drop off my shoes to get them cleaned. We're gonna go refill hand soap, and then I'll tell you the rest. Oh my god, it's actually quite embarrassing vlogging in public. I used to not be embarrassed, but now I am. Right here, there's a barbacoa spot that pulls up every weekend, and it's one of my favorites. And we are getting to the laundry to drop off my shoes. I love this store too. Do we ever get enough of the green here? I don't. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Bueno, la verdad que voy a estar poniendo atención a dónde bajo, hacia dónde camino, porque dije a dónde bajo. Oh my god. Yeah, I was gonna show you, but then I did that. Anyway. Yay! Coconut water. Yes. Cheers. Oh, wow. Bon appetit. That burned so good. ¿Se acuerdan cuando les dije que me encantaba estar rodeada de muchos árboles? Pues lo logré, chicos. Logré encontrar un depa que me rodean los árboles. Mira estas florecitas ya. Pero todavía quedan estas. Y esta nunca se abrió. Y miren este encendedor de la selección. Divino. If I do say so myself. I just got back from a workout, and so I think I'm gonna make myself some breakfast. Collagen. I just purchased this yesterday, and I think I have like stopped taking collagen for about 4 months, and I used to be so religious with that. And in my opinion, it really did help, especially like my hair. I could tell so like that was probably one of the first signs that I got that I was taking enough collagen, because like I started to grow out a lot of hair on my head. Well, maybe in other places too, but I just didn't notice it as much. But that is something that I really noticed when I stopped taking the collagen, because I do feel like my hair falls out a lot anyways, but now it's just like I feel like it might be thinning out. So I really need to start taking this baby again. And this is like the most potent one according to them. And then if you do take it in powder form, it is better than pill form. So I've heard. I am gonna put on this lip oil from Animakura, which is a shop that I popped into at the beginning of this video. I am obsessed with lip products. I own like 10 million lip products, which is why I shouldn't have been purchasing another, but alas, let's add it to the collection. Before I end this video, I do feel like I need to speak about the World Cup, because I was here in Mexico City and lived it out from a local's perspective. Let me start off by saying that I am not a huge sports fan in general, but like football, that's probably the least that I was exposed to growing up. Let me tell you, during this World Cup, I became a football fan, as I'm sure a lot of other people did too if they weren't before. The impact that it had on the city, I can only speak to Mexico City because this is where I was, but wow, guys, truly wow. I did not own a Mexico jersey. And I was not willing to purchase one from our corporation. And let me say that because I became part of a nonprofit that really opened my eyes and made me investigate more about all of these unethical practices, where the clothes end up. And I actually meant to make a video about this a while ago, which I'm so sad I didn't. But given that knowledge that I had and everything that I learned from it, I just cannot bring myself to purchase something from a huge corporation. I really can't, because all I see now is just trash. Like everywhere I see trash, 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 trash. I decided to purchase my playera, my very first playera, from a vendedor. Entonces, esos vendedores se ponían en cada esquina, ponían sus puestecitos, en donde vendían banderas, vendían cachuchas, vendían jerseys. I mean, every type of Mexico League merch that you can think of, like they were selling it. And so I ended up purchasing one myself from them to support my local vendors, because yes, that's exactly what I want to do. Only thing is that it did come with a logo, so I need a patch to cover this up. But guys, I got a beautiful, beautiful Mexican jersey from it. Maybe I should put it on so that we can like get into this vibe. Yes, this is the vibe of the video now. You had to reserve restaurants days in advance because they would get full so fast. And there were a few places here and there that were first come, first serve, and people were getting in line like hours before the game started. So if you wanted to go out and see it in a restaurant or in a bar, you had to make reservations for it. I honestly think that this was the best way to experience the World Cup, because I feel like a sport like this and in the World Cup is best seen in a group setting. And just the energy that flowed in that space during those 2 hours or 3 hours that we were there, because sometimes they would push the game back and push the game back. Anyway, like that energy reverberated throughout the entire city. I am not kidding when I tell you that the whole city was so happy during the World Cup and during when Mexico was playing. Like everyone was just walking with a little more pep in their step. Everyone was a little more friendly. It was so much fun. So much so that like after we would win, and we would start singing "Vámonos al ángel, vámonos al ángel," which meant that like literally everyone that was around El Ángel de Independencia would make their way to the Angel to go celebrate. And I went a few times, and to be completely honest, the first time that I went was probably where people celebrated more and it was not that dangerous. It was because everything was just like so new. It was our first game that we had won. And so that was really special to be part of it when it was still manageable in a way. I will say that as Mexico kept winning and as people kept putting videos up on social media, and then I'm sure that you guys saw like the aerial shots of like the angel and like the sea of people that were there celebrating, it did start getting a little out of hand like towards the end. The second time we went, we ended up finding ourselves gridlocked in this alleyway that was so scary, guys. Like, there were so many people. People were coming this direction. People were coming this direction. There was elderly people. There were little kids. People were falling. People were yelling. Like, everyone was inebriated. You know what I mean? Like, it was so scary. The only thing that flashed through my head, through my mind during that moment was, I don't know if you remember, but the stampede that happened in Seoul in South Korea, like that was flashing through my head in that moment. And it was really, really scary. I ended up losing my friends because there's just no way. The only way that you could move was because people were like pushing you. So you kind of had to like make your way to the direction that you wanted to go while people were just like pushing. Not recommended. That was horrible. But I ended up finding my friends afterwards and everything was good, but like never again did we go through that alleyway because that was so scary. But aside from that, it was amazing. It was just something that obviously I don't know when or if I'll ever be able to live out in my life. And so I just feel so special to have been able to experience that here and to witness so much pride and so much unity and so much excitement, so much heart, so much soul, like everything that Mexico is in a nutshell. And it just felt amazing to have everybody in unison and being on the same page and wanting the same thing to happen and just rooting for this one thing. Truly very special. So much so that when Mexico lost, guys, like that was depressing. We were on such a high and then we just sort of plummeted as a city, like as a nation. And it was the saddest thing on earth. A lot of people didn't go to work. They were so sad. Like the next day, a lot of people did not go to work. And everyone was sort of low spirits. The energy of the city was just like back to normal. And people, I think it took like a few days for people to sort of, I don't know, I feel like I still have a few friends who aren't over it, but like it took a few days for the city to sort of get back to normal, to be completely honest. Going from such a high, from everyone being so happy, like people hugging random strangers, like high-fiving random strangers, like, vamos, let's go, like, to just like sadness. And yeah, I just feel really bad. I of course have to talk about the protests that were happening at the same time, because they were also protesting causes that are very, very important. And obviously when things like this happen and you have everything laid out, like the good, the bad, like everything is just on the table and visible for everyone to see, I just can't help but think, like, can you imagine if the entire nation that was going for this football league, that wanted them to win, that really united during this moment and cheered each other on and supported each other and was there for each other? Can you imagine the magnitude and the impact that it would have if we took that same energy and poured it into a cause that people were protesting that's very, very important? You know, like, we can move mountains if we wanted to. And I could not get that out of my head, because I know there were a lot of people saying, well, you know, it's like football season and it's the World Cup. Like, this is our chance to sort of forget about all the bad things that are happening in the country. And I'm just like, yeah, but no, you know, we could close our eyes and la, 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 nothing's happening. But the reality is that a lot of bad things are happening, as well as a lot of good things are happening. And you cannot acknowledge one without the other. This just obviously goes on to saying this, like, worldwide. In any country, in any place that we are, if we all united and banded together and had that same passion and drive, who's against us, really? But yeah, that was my 2 cents. I absolutely loved it. I loved my experience here, and I learned a lot about football. That's all I have to say. It was an incredible experience, and I am so happy that I was here for it. I'm gonna include some clips now at the end because I feel like you could live it with me too as well when I was in it. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I'm sorry that I'm not so reliable here on YouTube. I feel like I go through phases. I feel like I've also said that before, but sometimes I get in my feels. I do not want to film or be on camera because I don't want to be like super sad and mopey and like that side of me, you know? Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you very, very soon. I hope you are well.
¡Viva México! Van para el otro.
¡Vámonos al Ángel!
¡Nadaremos! 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 ¡Que nos iba la gana! ¡De dónde está!
And look how bad these sneakers are. Oh my goodness. Just walking around Reforma. How do we style? I don't know, but I also have my shippies.